Madam Foreperson, on indictment 2013-983-A, charging the defendant Aaron Hernandez with murder, what say you, Madam Foreperson? Is the defendant not guilty, guilty of murder in the first degree, or guilty of murder in the second degree?
Guilty of murder in the first degree.
Madam Foreperson, by which theory or theories, deliberate premeditation and/or extreme atrocity or cruelty?
Extreme atrocity or cruelty.
That's your Woody Akademiks, and now let me tell you a story. Now, gather around, because we got a tragic story, and it's a story of a man who grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. Now, he was blessed by God with talents enough to make the NFL. Now, eventually, he was considered one of the best tight ends in the league. Not only that, he signed a 5-year extension worth a max value of $40 million. Now, to most people, that's considered success. That's considered being real. But to a lot of people, that's not really being real. Being real to some people is being a gang member. Being real is killing a friend if him and you fall out. Being real is actually killing two niggas after a night out at a club because somebody spilled your drink and stepped on your Jordans. You see what I'm talking about? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about Aaron Hernandez. Because for him, somewhere along the line, the allure of being a real street nigga and also being the human embodiment of Trevor from GTA took over more than everything else in his life. More than having a family, more than being rich, more than being famous, more than being a millionaire, more than being a father and a husband, more than taking care of dozens of people who depended on you because you're the most successful person they know. Well, today, he was convicted on murder charges, first-degree murder charges, and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Now, if you want to be about that life, how you gonna feel when you get life, okay? You want to be about that life, nigga? How you feel when you get life? Now, here's the thing is, because I'm a big fan of Aaron Hernandez on the field. He's a great player. Off the field, I can't vouch for him. I don't vouch for none of these motherfucking Negroes once they get off the field of play. Now, he stood in court today while the verdict and the sentence were being read. And I'm going to tell you this, man. Life hits you hard because he stood up and you could see the look in his eyes. He was ready to dap up his defense attorneys. He thought he was going to get off. He was going to dap him up like, yo, good job. Yeah, I really did this shit. Except he quickly realized it's not that way. It's the other way because the jury decided that he was guilty. Now, to me, I knew it was over a long time ago. And the reason being because I did a story. I kind of kept up with I did a story updating you guys that, yo, his fiance testified for the ops. I'm talking about the prosecutor. Now, some may say, well, listen, she had to testify to guarantee herself immunity. But let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, right? First and foremost, there's a light-skinned philosopher and poet. You know what I mean? His name is C. Breezy. He was right. Okay, we know what he said. But listen to this, because people are talking about, okay, it was good for her to testify. I'm going to give you an example. Barry Bonds, right? He was facing a small amount of jail time for steroid use, or actually lying about using steroids in baseball. He had a trainer named Greg Anderson. He knew the truth. He knew whatever the fuck Barry Bonds did. Now, basically, they try to get Greg Anderson to testify against Barry Bonds, and dude basically spent a year in jail because he refused to testify, okay? And it wasn't even for, like, Barry Bonds' life. It was just not to ruin his rep. This chick for Aaron Hernandez, she got up on the stage just to make sure she didn't get a couple years in jail. But that's another thing. I mean, we can't blame her. She's kind of the victim or the person being manipulated in the situation. It's really about Aaron Hernandez. Now, let's think about the case. Now, I don't know if you guys really followed it, but I knew also he was done. Stick a fork in him, he's done. Once Aaron Hernandez's lawyers admitted and made some fatal mistakes. Now, they admitted that he was at the scene of the crime, the scene of the murder in Massachusetts. Now, listen. In the state of Massachusetts, right, you don't need to be the trigger man to get sent to jail for life or to get charged or get convicted of murder. You just have to be in on the plot where somebody died, which means because he was in on the plot intentionally, and that was the circumstantial evidence that the prosecutor provided, he was found guilty. So he didn't have to fire the gun. So them telling really the jury at the end like, yo, yeah, he was there, but he didn't shoot it. Okay, they're basically saying, yo, listen, you're guilty as fuck. And everything he did afterward, trying to dismantle the phone, also trying to get rid of the gun, he looked motherfucking guilty. Now, I'm going to give him some credit. You're probably going to say, wow, why are you going to give him credit? I'm going to give him credit because he chose to have a lifestyle of a real street nigga. And to be honest, he acted like a real street nigga in court. When he got found guilty, when shit got real, he never cried once in court. He never showed no emotion. He never showed like he was weak. And he stayed true to him, to his real street nigga-ness. Now, for that, you gotta salute him, because if you're gonna choose to be a goon, a gang member, or a real street nigga, and you do some goon, gang member shit, or real street nigga shit, if you get then arrested and convicted, please don't cry. I don't want to see you cry, because you are in the streets screaming out, gang, gang, gang. I don't want to hear when you get arrested, you're now screaming out, God, please help. I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear it when you're screaming all those things in front of the judge. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's moments like these, right? Because I'm not going to lie. After I heard that he got convicted and he's getting life in prison without parole. That means, listen, the only team he's going to play on next is the fucking longest yard team. He's not playing the NFL. He's finished. And he's still got like a double murder case to look forward to. Now, I walked outside, literally. I walked outside and I took a very deep breath and I looked around, knowing I myself, I could go anywhere I want to, except Chirac, of course, and I'm free. I could do what I want, when I want, how I want. I wouldn't throw this shit away for nobody. I wouldn't throw away my freedom for nobody. Now, it might be cool when you're doing shit that if you think you're doing a lot of crime, nobody will catch you. He might have felt above the law because he had all that damn money, and he probably did shit in the past and got away with it. But it comes back to catch up with you. Listen, man, there's rich niggas in jail who would trade and gladly trade their riches for their freedom. So you niggas got to be smart, okay? If you guys want to go to be in jail where people are controlling your actions and rehabilitating you for a society you probably never will ever be back in, come on, man. That's not life, okay? That's not being real. That's definitely not being real, at least not to me. And if you consider that being real, I'll stay over here and I'll be a goofy, okay? I'm fine with that, okay? I love prosperity. I love fine living. I love my feet up. I love going on trips. I love living the good life, okay? You niggas can live the jail life. I ain't about that. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe. I'm out.